What's up guys, it's HDBoss with another video. But this video is gonna be kinda different from the other videos. So for the past year I've kinda just been uploading um lifting updates and kind of talking about how I was feeling during those months, but not really more into detail. And this is going to be kind of how I was feeling, but mostly, as you read in the title, advice for teenagers in relationships. So I think if you would have told me that I'd be making a video like this a year ago, I wouldn't have believed you. Because a year ago, I didn't really have any experience with women, and in the past year, I've had my fair share of new experiences. Um, and so what I just want to spread to you guys is some advice that I've um, learned from these relationships. So first, I'm gonna go into kind of my experiences in general detail, and then kind of talk about some advice. So basically, I started talking to the first girl I started talking to seriously, kind of, like semi-seriously, was last summer, the summer of 2022, um, on Snapchat, which was already is a bad sign. I never met her in person before I started talking to her, and all we really did was like all we really said was that we liked each other. And so we liked each other, and then we agreed to meet that August, before the school year started. And so so she I found out that, like, cause we had like been talking and like, oh, like we're gonna date when I like. So at the time I was in another state from her, but I was moving back to where she was, and like she really wanted to start dating me when I got back or whatever, from summer break. And but then right before I went back, I found out she was talking to like four other guys. She had like like been talking to slash talked to four other guys, apart from me, and she lied to me and said that she's only talking to me. And then we met, and it went decent. Um, I still met her. If it was me now, I don't think I would have even started talking to her. But so so I met her, and then she leaked my number on Snapchat, and so I got all these, like, every once in a while I would get a message from a guy saying how she like they were with her and stuff. Um, and that kind of like got to me, but um, and I really did like her, but I here's the advice that I learned from that, what I learned from that. So she had a lot of red flags. She like would post some guys on her story, but I still talked to her. Still did all of these things. And I learned that while I felt heartbroken, that I really shouldn't be heartbroken about this type of situation because she was never good for me to begin with if she was talking to other guys. So yeah. So and it's kind of my own fault too. So this kind of led into me talking to various girls on Snapchat after, um, probably subconsciously as kind of like to get back at her. And so I talked to these girls, like, I'd end up liking them, or they'd end up liking me, and then for one reason or another, they would stop liking me or whatever. Um, and then I eventually I was sick of it, and so I deleted Snapchat, which I think was a big step for me because at the time, like if you're watching this and you're a teen, you probably have Snapchat and you probably snap girls. And I was snapping like a lot of people, a lot of girls. And a lot of them I didn't even know. I never even met in person. And even the people, even the girls I did snap that I saw, I didn't even talk to. And it wasn't real. Like not like there was no point, but streaks. And if you're 14, like if you're 14, 13 watching this streaks, like um I would recommend to stop them because what other point is there but a number? I mean, if you talk to friends on Snapchat and stuff like that, like if you talk to your friends on Snapchat, that's fine. That's fine. Um, but if you only use Snapchat for streaks, then there's not really it's not really a point in my opinion. So, and if you're like 18 watching this, and you do like Snapchat streaks and like all the like questions on the stories and stuff, like I'm younger than you and I like I don't believe in that. But anyways, like again, if you talk to friends on Snapchat, it's fine. But anyways, I deleted Snapchat, and then to replace Snapchat subconsciously, I would go on Omegle. It's pretty funny looking back on it how desperate I was. But I would go on Omegle and I would um just like get girls like Instagram and like try and talk to them, and then it just didn't work out. And that stretch lasted for a month and a half, pretty bad. I didn't go on it every day or whatever, but I'd go on it like every weekend, and then I'd like talk to them during the weekend, then it would fail, and then whatever. But okay, so then I got an actual or so I so you know how if you're watching this, you might be able to relate to this. If you're a teen, you might have girls that you think are out of your league, um, like off the bat, so you just don't try to get with them, you know? Like you don't try and get with them because you know that they're so out of your league. Like you like if you talk to them, you knew you'd probably get rejected. Like there was this one girl who I'll talk about later, that I felt that way about like instantly. Like she was in my PE class. Um, and so anyways, I had a so she was one of those crushes that was like unrealistic in my mind. So I kind of set her aside because like I'm never gonna get with her. So like there's no point. But then I developed a crush on this girl that I actually thought I might be able to get. Um, and when I think of it, like it was a lot healthier than Omegle, because I actually like talked to her. Um, and but then I tried to text her on Instagram when I got her Instagram, and she didn't really reciprocate feelings at all. So that kind of went down the drain. But so then like I stopped having feelings for that one girl. We'll call her the French girl because she was in my French class. So I stopped having feelings for the French girl. And so basically after that, I remember that day or like the couple of days that stopped having feelings for her. I was like, you know what? Like there's no point. Like I'm not going to try and get girls. Like I'm not. Like I I'm not. Like there's no point. Like it's never worked out for me. It's not gonna work out for me. So like there's no point. So well, well, next day it's the week before we leave for Christmas. It's the week before we leave for Christmas, and I go, you know what? Screw it. F it. Screw it. I'm gonna text the girl I've had a crush on the entire year, but I've said is out of my league. She's in my PE class, so we'll call her we'll call her K because I don't want to say her actual name because if anybody who is watching this knows her, I don't like she didn't do anything wrong. But anyways, so K, I had a crush on K the entire year, the entire school year, and so I was like, okay, you know what? This probably isn't gonna work, but last attempt for Christmas break. So I start talking to her, and things actually go well. She's talking to me back, and not like texting back in a couple hours. She's texting me back right away. We connect. We have chemistry. And there was another girl I was texting back. I was texting at the time too. Um, but it just wasn't the same with this girl K as this girl K. So I make a little ultimatum to K, and I go, so if you don't if you don't like me, tell me before the year ends. But if you do, wait till after. And then K waits till after, and then everything goes good. And the next couple months, and this is this year, 2023. The next couple months, January, February, March, April, perfect months. Like I'm telling you, so those months of Snapchat, Omegle, and those and these superficial crushes gave me no happiness. I still felt really lonely. Like even though I was talking to them, nothing would ever happen, and I knew it. I knew subconsciously, and I still felt completely alone and unhappy. And but then for these months in January, I asked her to be my girlfriend. She said yes. We hung out almost every week, and it was great. I felt the happiest I've ever been since I was probably like a kid with no worries. When you're like I remember I I'd go over to her house, right? And you know how when you're a kid, you have like no worries. You like you had this like childlike innocence, um, like this childlike happiness, like just this happiness, like no stress, no worries. Like that's how I would feel when I was with this girl, and this is how much like Kay meant to me. And so like we were together for quite a while, and so I must say that those months were the happiest like I've been ever in my life, or at least since I was a little kid with that like childlike happiness, So yeah, and then at the start of May, I'm making this in May. At the start of May, she broke up with me, and um, it's one of the things that you think would never happen. Like when you get your first girlfriend, especially a girlfriend that you really, really have feelings for, like you don't think it's gonna end. Like, like there's this thing that like people will say, "Oh yeah, all high school relationships end," and I remember being like, "No, no, not mine. No, like not my relationship. It's not gonna end." Um, but it did, and so this leads into my advice. So the first half of the video, my experiences, second half, advice. So I have a dog here, so if you see me looking to the side, It's to my notes that I've made for this video. So that leads me into this. So I would say there are many different causes for high school relationships ending. And so if you're watching this, you're a teenager. You're 14 to 18, I'm assuming. If you're 13, you're still in middle school. I would recommend maybe not thinking about relationships that young. Um, or and if you do, like, I mean, go for it. And if you're 19, I'm 16, so I'm right in the middle. Like, so I'm right in the middle. So it's kind of in between. So if you're 19, um, you're an adult. You're not in high school anymore. So it's a little bit different. And I don't really have experience on that, but I do have experience, some experience in high school. So at least with actual relationships. So in high school, there are different types of relationships. Some relationships will be fake, fake, like they'll last like less than a month. Like they'll hang out a couple times. Like they tell everybody they know that they're together. And then it ends and neither person is really affected too much. It's like, oh yeah, I was with that person. Or they're together for a couple months and then somebody cheats or and it wasn't really a super close relationship. And then there are high school like couples that you see together all the time. And those are the couples that aren't afraid, or those are the couples that people make rumors about, people like see all the time together. And then there are the couples that are the really close couples. Like these are the couples that people people ask you, "Oh, are you and her still together?" Yeah. And then it becomes like, "Oh, I don't even have to ask you. Like I already know what the answer is going to be. Like you guys are together, obviously." So there are those couples. And so the the far apart couples that last less than a month, those relationships were never meant to be. Like I can already say that those like if you're in a really late relationship right now and you kind of like the girl you like or you like the girl you're in a relationship but you don't love her with all your heart. You just you just love her. Oh, you love her. You like her a lot. I hate to break it to you, but either either you start loving her with all your heart or you really take time to think about it. Why are you in this relationship? Just to get pleasure? Like, do you not think it's gonna last? Do you know it's not gonna last? So you're just using her for pleasure, even though you know it's gonna end? I would recommend if you're in that situation, don't don't continue, or at least think about it. Think about it heavily. And those relationships usually end by one cheating because they never really cared about each other super like a lot. They didn't um or they like just stop having feelings for each other. But I would say if you're in a relationship where each person loves one another with all their heart, that love, I've learned this. Definitely I've learned this. That love just doesn't go away. Like it's not gonna go away. And if it does go away, it's gonna take a long time. But those feelings aren't just gonna go away. And so now for the middle relationship. The really, really close couples that always show in school. Um yeah, like they're probably not gonna break up. And if they do, it's probably because somebody really fucked up. Like so I'm gonna give the relationship, I'm gonna give the advice to where you're a teenager, 14, 18, 14 to 18. I'm a 16, currently about to end sophomore year. So I'm assuming you're in a relationship with a girl you love a lot, and that girl loves you a lot as well, and you feel confident about the relationship. You guys spend time with each other and all that. So go to my notes. So one thing when you're getting into those types of relationships where you really believe in it, stuff like that, especially, and this is also for teenagers. If if this is your first relationship, I like listen to me right now. So you guys are gonna have activities that you guys do, of course. Everybody does things, especially in high school. People start working, kids start working, you know. So it's entirely possible that your girlfriend will work or you work, or you guys take up hobbies, like one of you guys has a sport, or one of you guys goes to the gym. That was me. Um, or whatever. Um, and so those activities are of course going to take up time. So you guys probably won't be able to see each other every day. That's going to be unlikely. Leave those to the couples that have no other life but each other. And that's not a healthy relationship. You should have a life other than your partner. So 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 recognize that those hobbies and activities take up time. And so you guys are not going to be hanging out every single day, and be okay with that. Be okay with that. Like, even once in my relationship, I would see her, I would be lucky if I saw her once a week. And in the beginning, that was like, like, in the beginning, like, I got so used to seeing her every week, and I'll get into that later, but just, just each time you guys do hang out, and so your guys' activities, hobbies, work, etc., are gonna take time, like I said. But also you guys have like recognize that your partner and you have friends, family, your partner, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. They have family, they have friends they hang out with too. They they didn't drop all of that just for you. So they're gonna have plans. They're they're not just gonna drop all their plans to be with you. Like if they have a family plan, they're not gonna drop their family plans just for you. And they shouldn't because they have a right to that. And so recognize that your partner has a life outside of you, has a family, friends that they have plans with, and so be okay with that. And just my final point for this kind of segment is, and I can't stress this enough, be grateful for all the times you get with your partner, with your girlfriend, your boyfriend. Be grateful. As like cherish those times as much as you can. And when you miss her, when you miss him, uh, embrace that. It means you care. It and let them know you miss them. It means you care. And and just when you're with them, really be in the moment. Really try and enjoy that time you have with them because you don't see them every day. You might not see them this weekend. So if you do, enjoy that time. Like I that's one thing that I I failed at the later end of the relationship. I got so used to seeing her this often, and so I would I I I didn't know what to do if I couldn't see her this weekend or next weekend. What am I gonna do? I I didn't understand in the moment that it's fine if I have to wait. When I do see her next time, I'm gonna be grateful. I'm gonna be in the moment. I I'm gonna be fine with waiting because she's waiting for me too. If she could see me, she would. So she's waiting too. So you guys just both need to understand that both you guys do want to be together, and you guys need to just be patient and then embrace those times. Embrace them as much as you can. I wish I had. I enjoyed those moments with her a lot. But I wish I had just been more patient and more understanding. And I think that's something you can learn from. So now for feelings. So how do you deal with feelings in the relationship? So obviously, let's say you have a girlfriend. You love her a lot, of course. Probably tell her you love her a lot. You guys probably show each other love in different ways, you know? Like you probably or say I love you a lot or different things like that or like little small acts like you guys probably call stuff like that. Um if you're in a relationship and you don't love that person, why if you're in a committed relationship with that person and and let's say you love them but they don't love you and they don't love you, why are you with them? Or if they love you but you're not sure, you don't really love them, you don't really think of them like that, why are you in that, why are you in that relationship? There's no point. It's a waste of time to be in a committed relationship like that. It takes up time, and so you should only spend it with someone you really really love and someone who really really loves you too. And so for this love, again, don't be afraid to show it. It can be little things, it can be big things. You can get her stuff. You can do small little gestures, like um, like just small little things. Um, just find a way to show it, and and I learned this too in my relationship. If you're not good at showing love or showing your feelings or stuff like that, let them know you're not good at that. Let them know. Communicate with them that you're not. I, I, I can't really express in words. Like it's hard to express in words my feelings towards you. So if I don't do it that much to understand, like stuff like that, understand and show love. And if you're not good at showing it, let them know. And so that when you do say those words, when you do show acts of love, they're gonna appreciate it that much more because they know that you're not good at that and that you've made an effort. And let's say your girlfriend isn't the best at showing love, or at least like isn't the best at putting it into words. And so when she does, not only be grateful for it, but be proud that she made an effort to do that. Okay, so another thing. When you're in a relationship, you should open up to them because you're in this connection with them. You're in this bond. You're in this bond with them. So, of course, there are some things that like there are some things that you're probably not going to tell anybody. Like for me, there are some things I'm not going to tell anybody. There's some things that I haven't told anybody. There's some things that have happened to me that I haven't told anybody. Like there are some things there are just some things that you shouldn't feel pressured to open up with. And you shouldn't demand your partner to open up about those things too. But for the things you are fairly comfortable to open up about, even if you're slightly nervous about them, do it. It should let's say and especially how you're feeling. Like how you're feeling in the moment. How you were feeling last Wednesday when I how like this is how I was feeling last Wednesday when I didn't talk to you that much. This is why. Like did I seem a little off this day? This is why. This is what I was feeling. That is so important. Communicate how you're feeling. Like 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 for me, I would let so I'm in this whole self-improvement journey. I'm trying to better myself in all aspects. And so when I fail on those aspects, I get frustrated immensely with myself. And it's slightly unhealthy, but it does make me better. But when I'm frustrated, one thing that I found out in the relationship that I'm not good at regulating those feelings. I let those feelings of frustration affect it would get me irritated towards people. And I began to before I would just get irritated at other people, but then I started to get irritated at the very girl that I loved. And that's not good. You should and I wouldn't communicate. So communicate your feelings. And so when you do say something or do something you don't mean, they understand why. Oh, if I say something I don't mean, I'm trying not to, but this is why. This is how I'm feeling. So yeah, I literally wrote communication is absolute key. Absolutely key. Communicate your feelings, how you're feeling. If you know it might affect your relationship, communicate communicate them with each other. And I wish I had done this in my relationship before it ended. And and um also try and understand each other's feelings and how they do things and try and understand where they're coming from at all times. Try and understand that if if they don't text you as much, they're probably feeling this way. They're probably feeling that way. Um, and so that's why you should say, "Oh, if I'm feeling this way, I might not text you as much. I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to say something I don't mean. So, um, like, I'm sorry." Or like a little bit after you feel normal, you can say, "Oh, sorry, I didn't text you as much. I was mad and I didn't want to say something I didn't mean." That's something I learned that is really effective, and it's something that I try to do in my relationship. But I wasn't quite able to in time, unfortunately. But um, yeah. So I kind of finished my feeling section, so now I'm just gonna give some more advice. In so you're in a relationship with a girl you love very much, and that girl loves you very much too, and you guys do little small things for each other. You guys maybe you guys call when you hang out, like you guys do certain things. You guys have traditions, like you guys text a certain way that shows appreciation towards one another. Appreciate it. Notice what they're doing. Don't like if you know they're making an effort, appreciate it. Like it's something I didn't do enough. I especially towards the end, there's so many small things that I realize now and I look back on now. That was so nice. Why didn't I communicate that I loved that so much? Why didn't I communicate that enough? There were so many small things that I didn't appreciate enough. Appreciate all the small things you guys do for each other. And I just think that's so important because it shows that you guys appreciate each other and it just creates a deeper connection. So, yeah. So, if you guys are still listening, if any people are still listening, thank you for listening all the way. It's hard to imagine even a person listening this far to me just talking about relationships. But um, I'm gonna make a video soon how to get over a breakup, but it's something that only happened to me recently, so I'm still learning about it. But other than that, you're a teen, you're listening to this, you're 14 to 18 years old, 14 to 18 years old. If you're in a relationship, I would just recommend all these things. And if you're doing all these things, congratulations. Really think about those things though. Really think about them and where your relationship is. And don't like never be always be grateful. Always be grateful. I was not grateful enough towards the end. I was not. I got used to it. I took her for granted. I still showed my love. I still did that, but not as much as I should have. And I like another thing I didn't appreciate the times we had together, and I was not patient enough at all, and I didn't understand her as much as I should have. Like like understand your girlfriend has a life besides you and has plans and has things that she does, and appreciate that about her, that she's she's also focusing on herself on top of you, or besides you, or over you, probably over you. You guys in a healthy relationship, you guys should put each other second. Put your girlfriend second. Put your boyfriend second to yourself. Focus on yourself first, and then your boyfriend, girlfriend. And yeah, so that is my advice for young people, teenagers in relationships. Um, be grateful if you're in a class with your partner and you get to be partners and stuff. That's cool. That's cool. Um, it probably would make it more awkward if you guys broke up because um, yeah. So yeah. If you made it this far, thank you for listening. Um, I might make a video on this with more experiences in the future. I'm certainly not someone that you should confide in completely, but I definitely have some experience and I just thought I'd share what I've learned over the past year and especially in the past couple weeks. Um, and yeah, definitely different from all my other videos, but thank you for listening and yeah, thank you. Um, I'll see you guys later. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.